Hello, I'm Bob the Booker, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, or whatever. I wanted to just I think that now is the kind of moment, right, where right at the beginning of the year, it's very, very tempting to kind of set very, very lofty, ambitious goals for your reading for the year. And in fairness, I probably am going to end up doing that in some way. But I thought I would just talk a little bit about some of my reading plans for this coming year. And again, this is where I kind of like, oh yeah, it's not that ambitious. And then I realized that it probably is. I mean, it almost definitely is. I don't know who I'm deluding with this. But it's always kind of fun to think about the kinds of opportunities out there for your reading and everything, and obviously leaving some space for amazing books to come to you that you probably would never have known were coming or kind of thought about. So I'm really, really excited for sort of several reasons for this coming year in terms of books. I've been reading a few advanced copies of some books that are coming up already, and I am incredibly excited for some of the books that are coming up. Ocean Vuong's new book being one of them. I read it, it's incredible, I love him. Like, it's great. My review would have gone out recently about To Paradise by Hanya Yanagihara, which I also think is just sublime. So lots and lots of really good and exciting things, and that's before we've even come to Ali Smith having a new book out and Colm Toibin having a collection of poetry coming out. Lots of very, very exciting things, at least for me. But I wanted to talk about some of my own reading plans for this coming year. One of the plans is to keep going with my perhaps very foolhardy decision to read all the old Booker shortlists. I'm a decent amount through, but I think a lot of them are kind of disconnected because I haven't finished a few of the shortlists, if that makes sense. So I think I worked this out recently. I think I've got about another 100 and a bit to go, maybe 115, 120 or something, shortlisted books left. I'm not going to try and do those all this year, as tempting as that is. But what I think I will do is sort of focus on about maybe half of that, and I just want to at least finish the 70s and 80s, or the 70s and then another decade, depending on how I get on. There are a lot of them. If you think most years had 6 books, and it's been going for about 50 years, it's a lot. So that's the sort of long going, long going, that's not a word or a phrase, a sort of long-term ongoing plan is to sort of keep reading those in the background sort of bit by bit, and kind of keep working through them. Why, Bob, why? But there are some other really exciting things that I want to try and do with reading as well. Now, naturally, prizes are going to be part of it for me, because hello, I'm Bob. But as well as sort of the more obvious ones, I suppose, for me, ones I've sort of followed this year, and sort of spoken about. So just for a quick reference, the Booker Prize, the whole long list of that, the International Booker Prize, I think probably just the shortlist, and the Women's Prize shortlist. Those are sort of always a bit of a core 3. And this year I really enjoyed reading the 2 shortlists of the Polari Prize and of the Wainwright Prize, so 2 shortlists each. Absolutely loved what came from that book-wise. And I also really enjoyed reading the Goldsmiths Prize as well. And I might be adding 2 more to this list this year, both relatively small ones, so hopefully fine, we'll see. What am I thinking? So that will be the Barbellion Prize, which is a prize of writers with disabilities, and that's going to be in sort of January, February time anyway. I've already read a couple of them, and they are super, super exciting books. So really, really keen to see what the rest of this shortlist looks like. Then, apart from that, I also really want to read the Republic of Consciousness Prize. I've sort of dipped into it a little bit this year, but I think I want to sort of ideally read the whole shortlist, which is again only about 4 or 5 books. And that is a publisher, a prize that sort of takes in works from small indie publishers, and it's always quite exciting because often a lot of indie publishers are putting out just some of the most exciting, incredible books, and they often don't get as much love. So I'm really, really keen to check those out. And then I think I'll stop. I think that's only 8 prizes. There we go. So that's kind of the kind of I mean, it's exciting. I hesitate to call it work, but like those are the ones that are a little bit more dictated, let's say. And I think what I want to do for myself in terms of reading as well, just for actual pleasure, because I've sort of been finding that, particularly after a long work day, I often will just sort of be sat there with a pile of books that I need to read to kind of for a prize or for whatever else, and those books deserve proper attention and proper time, and so I've not always been able to do that after a full day of work. So what I've often found has been nice is sort of dipping my toes a little bit more back into non-fiction, which I don't really give enough time to, or if it's not non-fiction, sort of slightly lighter reads, and that takes me to a few that I'm gonna try and read that might be slightly easier in some ways. So Philip Pullman's Ruby in the Smoke series has been a series I've been wanting to read for a long time because I love his dark materials so much, and I'm really keen to check those out. So that's kind of one set of books is going to be for me a bit more, you know, sort of books I really, not to say I don't want to read the books from the prize, but that are a little bit less dictated, right? And likewise, there have been authors who I've been meaning to just sit and read the back catalogues of for a while, and a few of those are definitely going to be on my radar for this year. So I'm thinking currently, and this may change, but Virginia Woolf, Damon Galgut, Angela Carter, and I'm sure there was someone else. I think Coetzee would be another one, and Kafka really, and Penelope Fitzgerald. Lots of people. This needs a little bit more thinking, but those are authors who I absolutely adore some work of, but have not read everything of yet. So that's going to be a little bit more for me. That's kind of off the path of prizes, sort of, for a bit. So that might be nice, maybe. Who knows? Let's hope. But those are currently my plans, and I also want to be a little bit kinder to myself with some of these. I think last year I overdid it a little bit, as in it was sort of lots of advanced copies, lots of books from the library, lots of sort of tight deadlines I set myself to try and go within sort of certain prizes, particularly that later part of the year where every prize seems to just take place. So I think I'm going to be a little bit kinder to myself with that and be like, you know what, if I don't get to this prize straight away, the world does not implode because I've taken an extra month or two to read a shortlist. It's fine. So that's currently where I'm at. Anyway, if you've got some nice pleasurable reads that you think that might sort of save me from having a breakdown this year, that would be lovely. I've also got a few buddy reads coming up that I'm super excited for, and I'm just generally really excited. Also, I know a few of us are planning with February to look at reading some Fitzcarraldo books that we've got kind of lying around that we keep on meaning to get round to, and coining it Fitzcarraldo February because alliteration is wonderful. So if you'd like to join in on that, if there are books that you'd really like to suggest, great. And I'm hopefully also going to be doing a few fun buddy reads and hopefully having those to kind of go out this year as well. Anyway, what are your goals? What kinds of things are you planning on reading this year? Please also feel free to berate me for taking on too much. I hope you're doing really well. I hope 2022 is a wonderful year for you, both in terms of reading and in just terms of general life. Stay safe, and I hope you're doing really well. Take care. Bye bye.